Hey Lightplayers, welcome to my channel. I am Anya Lightheart and I make videos every week, so make sure to subscribe. As most of you know, I've been prepping to move from Metro Detroit to Northern Michigan, and it's been quite interesting and it's been giving me so many opportunities to keep growing spiritually and as a human and in so many other different regards. But today I want to talk to you about the spiritual side of things and receiving validation and how has it been for me throughout this process. Now, I normally connect with my spirit guides like all the time, like they're constantly just talking to me and speaking to me, so I'm always guided and supported and it's clear validations. But since I started this process, I kept seeing dragonflies, and if you know about my work, you know that the dragonfly with the DNA strands is my logo. So every time I see a dragonfly, I know I'm being guided and it's like exactly where I need to be doing, where I need to be. It's just like that extra physical validation. But here's a little thing that happened. I got really attached to receiving that specific validation from my guys. Like, even because things have been so crazy with getting the house ready and finding the new house and getting the new house ready and closing dates and everything that goes on with selling a house and buying a new house. It's been a little bit interesting process, just to put it that way. So I kept seeing dragonflies, so I grew really attached to seeing dragonflies every single time something came up. I needed to change this or do that, or somebody rejected something, or I needed to, whatever it was, I was like, okay, where's my dragonfly? Just to know that everything is working out. And until at some point I stopped seeing dragonflies. Like I couldn't find them, or I couldn't perceive them anymore in that sense, not in the physical way. I knew that I was still on that path. I intuitively, I just knew, but that extra validation. And for a moment, it truly shook me. I was like, whoa, where is my dragonfly? Yet, even though I didn't see the dragonflies, I was still going really in that flow, and everything was just happening in such a divine time, and everything was working with no dragonflies. So it just got me thinking, it's like, whoa, I really got attached to having that extra validation. And I was putting all my energy into finding that dragonfly or receiving that dragonfly. And it doesn't work that way. I was actually blocking my own intuition and my own sense that everything is always working out, everything is always in divine flow. But internally, I was already projecting that fear and that energy into receiving whatever I was asking for. And I see that all the time. I see that we want this huge like billboard sign with exactly what we need to do and how we need to decide on things and what is the next step and what not, or we just ask for really clear things, and sometimes we don't get that, and that's when we start doubting ourselves. We start fearing that maybe we're not doing the right thing, although our heart is screaming at us that it is the right thing, because we get attached to these other physical validations. And I'm not saying it's wrong to receive this validation. I think it's fantastic, especially when you're in awareness where it comes to you, right? But the problem is that if we become attached to them, then there's no purpose, because then you're not really growing in any way. You're not really expanding your heart. You're just putting fear into that outcome. So here's two things that I've really been practicing lately. One is just to let it go. Let go of what signs, validations we're wanting to get. It can be, whatever it is for you. For me, it's dragonflies or the number 44. It's always been my thing with my guys since I was a teenager. But I just learned to release it. I don't need to be attached to having to see a 44 everywhere or a dragonfly everywhere in order for me to stay calm, to stay present, to stay grounded and in that divine flow. And number two is just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and use that energy that you're feeling in that moment. It can be distress, it can be overwhelming, it can be overwhelmed, it can be anxiety, whatever it is in that specific moment, use that to fire you up, to find in your heart the part of you that will guide you anywhere where you need to be in divine time, because you're always loved and you're always supported. And I know I say this all the time because I truly mean it. I mean, I've seen it personally, and I've seen it with my students and the people I collaborate with, the other life players. Like, I truly, and maybe you've been seeing it yourself, we are always in divine flow. And if we truly believe that in our hearts, so then it doesn't matter what kind of validation you get or you don't in that moment. It doesn't matter, because you already know in your heart that you're being guided. And just a bonus too, sometimes we want really clear validation, and we have this expectation of how we have it in our head, how it looks like, how it must come to us in order for us to trust it and to go that way and to believe it. We tend to focus so much on that outcome and that validation, specifically signs. Maybe it's a feather, a coin, a number, a spirit animal, whatever it may be for you. That is, spirit may be like sending 10 people your way to cheer you up, or to share good news with you, or showing you other validation ways, but we're just too distracted just waiting for the one, you know? So instead of having an attachment to what it must look like, let's just be open to be surprised, to be amazed by life, by universe, and to receive the love that you deserve, because you are loved and you are loved. Share with me if this video resonates with you and how you receive signs from spirit, and what you're gonna do next when you feel that like freaking mode that is like rolling up and don't know what to do. Share with us, what is your next step? How are you gonna change that vibration instead of waiting for a sign from heaven, from the skies, from your galactic family, from, you know, universe? What are you gonna do in that moment to shift that vibration and to expand your heart instead and go forward? Because in your heart, you know, this is it. If you trust that, if you trust your heart, it will never fail you. I see you and I love you.